All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're tackling a question that, let's be honest, feels a little dangerous to ask out loud. Is religion fake, or is it just deeply, deeply misunderstood? So let's just start with a pretty radical idea. What if, at its very core, religion isn't fake at all? What if that basic human impulse to search for meaning is one of the most real things about us? But, and here's the twist, what if most of what we've been taught, most of what we just assume we know about religion, what if that's the part that's not quite real? And this right here, this is the main idea for today. What if the wars, the hate, the division, what if it didn't actually come from God or the universe or the teachings themselves, but from how we humans have twisted and used them? Stick with me on this, because by the end, you're either going to question everything you thought you knew, or maybe, just maybe, understand it for the very first time. This brings us to the first really crucial step. We have to completely reframe the whole debate. We've got to start asking a much, much better question. For centuries, we've been stuck asking the wrong question. Is it real or is it fake? But that's a total dead end. The real question, the one that actually gets us somewhere, is this. Has religion been manipulated, misunderstood, or just way oversimplified? Because think about it. If you strip away all the rules and rituals and just look at the origins of every single major faith, they all started with the same thing. A really profound, deeply human quest to answer the biggest questions there are. Who am I? Why are we even here? And what is truth, really? But somewhere down the line, something fundamental changed. Those deep philosophical explorations, they hardened. They turned into rigid rules, tribal identities, and this dangerous idea of us versus them. The journey for truth kind of stopped, and the dogma took over. So, how on earth does that happen? How does a search for inner freedom become a tool for outer control? Well, let's break down the anatomy of how that manipulation actually works. It all starts by tapping into three of the most powerful desires we all have as human beings. We crave a sense of control, we desperately want certainty in a world that feels chaotic, and we have this deep primal need to belong to a group. And this slide right here, this is basically the three-step playbook. Step 1, you take deep symbolic wisdom and you simplify it into black and white rules. Step 2, you replace personal experience with blind authority. You're told what to believe instead of being encouraged to find out for yourself. And step 3, the big one, you introduce fear. Heaven versus hell, us versus them, reward versus punishment. It's the ultimate tool for control. It's kind of funny when you take a step back and look at it all. You have all these different groups, and every single one is saying, no, we're the right ones. You can't help but just imagine some kind of higher power looking down and going, guys, you are all completely missing the point. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? This next idea, it's a really powerful new way to look at the whole thing. I call it one mountain, many paths. I want you to picture this. Imagine there's one single mountain that represents ultimate truth or peace or whatever you want to call it. Now, there are tons of different paths to get to the top. Each religion, when it's at its best, is just one of those paths. The big mistake we make is thinking that our little path is the entire mountain. Some people climb using the path of devotion and prayer. Others take the path of quiet meditation. Some find their way through selfless service to others. And some climb through knowledge and deep study. The methods are all different, you see, but the destination, that feeling of truth, peace, self-realization, it's all the same. And listen, this isn't just some nice philosophy. Modern neuroscience is actually backing this stuff up. They found that practices like meditation and deep prayer literally activate parts of your brain that are linked to peace, awareness, and compassion. So the inner experience is measurably real. It's the stories we tell about that experience, the interpretations. That's where all the differences and arguments come from. Okay, so this brings us to the most important part of all of this. How can you actually apply this to your own life? Let's talk about your path to clarity and how you can break free from all this confusion. So here's the bottom line. The religion itself isn't the problem. Blind belief, that's a problem. A lack of self-awareness, huge problem. And our ego's deep attachment to an identity, that need to say, I am this, which automatically creates a you are not this. That is the real source of so much conflict.
So what can you actually do? Here are 5 clear steps to find your own understanding. 1. Shift from just believing something to actually experiencing it. 2. Question everything, respectfully, of course. Real truth is never afraid of a few questions. 3. Focus on the universal values that are underneath all the labels. Things like love and compassion. 4. Just watch your own mind's desperate need to be right all the time. And 5. Use all of this to build your own conscious framework, not just one you inherited without thinking.
And really, it all just boils down to asking yourself this one simple but powerful question, especially when you feel yourself getting defensive about your beliefs. Am I actually seeking truth right now, or am I just defending my identity?
Let's end with one last metaphor that I think just nails this whole idea. Think of religion like a map. A map can be incredibly useful, right? It can show you the way, but the mistake so many of us make is that we end up worshiping the map itself instead of actually going out and exploring the beautiful territory it's pointing to.
Because at the end of the day, truth is not found in a label or a book or a building. It's found in direct personal experience. And the moment you stop blindly following and you start consciously exploring for yourself, well, that's where real freedom begins.